God, that was close. Are you there?
I'm here, Sam. Are you okay?
What do they want with me, Laura? A fire ritual? This is so fucked up.
Listen, I'm coming to get you. I'm going to get you out of there.
Please, please help me, Laura.
I promise. I promise, Sam.
Hey, she just...
Oh no!
Sam?
Hello gamers and welcome to my honest Tomb Raider review. Now, I finished the game 2 weeks ago. I wrote the review 2 weeks ago. I even recorded the review 2 weeks ago. And I'm not happy on how it is. And I'm trying to make a new approach right now. I'm trying to talk freely by watching also my written review. In case, so I won't forget stuff to talk about. So again, this is more of an experiment review. And if you are kind enough to leave me suggestions in the comments below. And the reason why I'm not just skipping this game and moving to the next game is that Tomb Raider, it's a good game, but it had some stuff that really annoyed me, and I feel that I need to share my honest opinion about the game. Now, the cinematic you just saw, it was presented in a gameplay video before the game launched, and I said, okay, I'm not going to play the game. I don't want to play with a hysterical woman. Like, oh, come on, what the fuck. But my gay friend Duru told me, okay, you need to play the game. And I said, okay, I will play the game. So I played it and it was okay. Only that I wasn't expecting to play with Chuck Norris. A female version of Chuck Norris. Why you say that? Well, we will talk about that later. Now, Tomb Raider is a long game series. It started back in 1996, and the last Tomb Raider was in 2008, and it was a crappy one. And then we had Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, which was an isometric platformer, and that was an awesome game. But it wasn't a real Tomb Raider. But you need to play Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. It's available on consoles and on Steam. And okay, new Tomb Raider game. But Lara looks different, like what the hell. So it turns out that Crystal Dynamics, the creators of the game, wanted to reinvent the series, and that's a good call. It's really hard for me to take female characters serious, usually. Why? Because they always have big breasts, and if they supposed to have armor, the armor always magically ends around the bikini area or right around the belly area. I still remember a cinematic from Heroes 3 when that woman follows the boat and she has like a weird armor, like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I know I love big boobies, but I couldn't take the Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft, or the old Lara Croft series. Now with this new Chuck Norris Lara Croft, it's more okay. However, the problem, she is portrayed as a young, smart woman, and that's okay. She's sensitive also.
Oh, God!
And that's okay. The problem is that she always falls in the game. She's like a Max Payne combined with Chuck Norris. What the fuck is that? I mean, Max Payne is a badass. Normally, the thing is that he kind of suffered a lot. Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris, and we have this female version who can beat those two guys up. She falls down in the beginning, always falling down, going up without a scratch. There was a point where she actually injured herself, and you're supposed to go somewhere to pick up some medikit, like whatever. Then she ends up falling down again, and this is something that in a way it really bugged me. Now the game is simply beautiful. The graphics are looking awesome, the environment is looking awesome, and during the whole game span you will end up in a lot of different environment, and you will see that everything is looking beautiful. Even the caves are looking beautiful with skulls and candles and stuff like that. Really good with the details. However, the game has a number of scripted events, and there are plenty of them, especially early on. And they did a pretty good job making the interaction with the scripted event fluid, but they are still there, and sometimes I'm not sure, am I in control of the character right now? So every time I saw a scripted event, I was always going left, right to see if I need to move Lara and avoid some kind of rock or something. Graphics are simply beautiful, but another thing that's super important are the animations. The animations are all looking very fluid. When you jump, when you fight, when you do melee takedowns, everything is looking fluid, and that's a pretty awesome feeling. Now about the story. In a way, the story is not there. The story is not existent. Well, and you will say like, wow, what do you mean? Well, it is a plot there. The plot is not really presented in a good way, at least for me. The characters, you are on a boat, and you are a young archaeology student. I believe Lara is like 20 or 21 years old, so she's like super young. And if you are watching this review after playing the game, you'll be like, oh yeah, she's 21 and she's like Chuck Norris already? What the hell? Lara has a feeling that we need to go there. She has that intuition. And so a part of the crew, they don't want to go there because they don't have a budget, and they kind of are taking a risk, something like that. And the ship ends up in a place that's like Bermuda Triangle, and basically they just crash, and they are all spread around, and Lara needs to find them and rescue them. You will quickly find out that there are other people on the island, mercenaries and stuff like that, and you're basically the puzzles on what's happening on the island are revealed one by one, but it's still not totally sure exactly what's going on. And it does get a bit weird in a good way later, a bit supernatural, and that's okay. Lara has like 7 crew members, something like that, and you don't know anything about them. There is no story basically there, and the only bits of story about them you can find in journals that are scattered around the map.
Lara is having a crisis of confidence, so for her sake, I'll keep up a happy face. But something about this expedition has been making me nervous. I have butterflies in my stomach. As we sail closer to the Dragon's Triangle, I'm starting to feel nauseous, and this isn't the excited kind of nerves. What the hell is wrong with me?
And that sucks. At first I was like, hey, interesting, you can find bits of story, but right now after I'm playing Bioshock Infinite right now, and it's kind of the same thing. You have journals that are scattered around, and if you are lucky enough to find them, you will find a piece of story. If not, you don't have a clue why that happened. And right now I'm thinking, is this a good decision to hide bits of story? Shouldn't you show the story in a good way, so the player will not feel, well, not really confused, but so the player can really feel the story better? I'm really curious about your opinions about this. So what else you can find around? Well, as I've said, you can move around freely. It's not an open world game, but you will basically go to a camp, and that will also mean like a checkpoint, and to that camp you can fast travel to other camps in case you want to basically do to find other secrets. Of course, you can do them after you finish the game. Another thing you can do at the camp is upgrade your weapons and upgrade your skill points. The skill points, in my opinion, are kind of irrelevant. In the end, you will kind of have every skill point, but they aren't really that important. What I found more important are the weapon upgrades. Other stuff you are going to find around the map are artifacts, which are pretty cute, because you will be able to see the artifact in 3D, which is nice. And Lara also talks about that artifact a bit, and I personally like his story.
Silk fan. Could have been used by a villager or a noble, maybe.
And that was a nice addition. And you will also be able to find scavenge points, which those scavenge points you'll be able to upgrade your weapons at the camp. And what weapons, you might say? Well, you start with a crappy bow, and that's the weapon I kind of use the whole game, because I can silently take down enemies from far away. And you'll also find a gun, a shotgun, and a machine gun, and you can swap between them freely. And that's nice, because sometimes I feel like, okay, I want to blast them with the shotgun. Sometimes I find out that the enemies are too many and I can't take them with the bow, and I'm switching to machine gun, and so on. So basically, the weapons are kind of weak early on, but by upgrading them you will be able to reload faster, they will do more damage and so on. Now the platforming elements of the game are pretty strong. You will have to do a lot of climbing, and that gave me an Assassin's Creed feeling, which is a good thing. It's pretty fun to explore the environment. You will be able to use the bow to tie up around a pole, and you will be able to go up and down that rope, and it really makes you look at the beautiful environment, and it forces you to think on how to proceed. And that's when I got the Prince of Persia feeling. You especially get this feeling on the secret optional tombs, and there are a couple of them, and basically we need to see exactly how to interact with the environment so you can basically proceed and get to the treasure. I also got a Max Payne feeling, which came when I reached the shanty town, and that's like a really bad town because it's shanty town, and enemies are coming from all around. I have to take cover, and I really love to headshot the enemies using my bow, and that's really something that's bugging me. Developers said like they were actually saying how good this is. Like the AI will be able to take cover by from the environment, and if there was a table they will be flipping the table and hide behind the table, and you say like, okay, that's nice. The problem is that their heads will always pop out, so you will be able to easily headshot them. So what are my opinions about the game? Well, it took me about 13 hours to complete it, and that's a pretty good number. I didn't felt it ended too fast. I didn't feel that the game is dragging on and oh my god, I need to finish this game. I really enjoyed the graphics. You can even use Tress FX, which makes Lara hair move more realistically. However, there were some FPS drops on the Nvidia cards, and even after the driver update, there were still some FPS drops, especially in close-up to her face. For the story, it wasn't really interesting at the beginning because the characters don't develop at all. As I've said, you only get characters development from the journals that are scattered around, which is a stupid thing. But the story became a bit more interesting after some strange and mythical stuff happened, and in the end it was still a good experience, and I'm really curious on how they will evolve the series. However, what really bothered me, Lara becomes some kind of Chuck Norris combined with Max Payne. She falls down, glass over her, she falls down again, rocks near her, and in the end she's just fine. I understand that this is a game, but the falling is really taken to the extreme. And it might be believable if we were actually playing with Chuck Norris, but in the end we are playing with Lara, who's a woman, and that's fine. The problem is that right now she's portrayed as a sensitive woman. You can see her. She's portrayed as a smart woman, and she's also 21 years old. What does she know about really that much stuff in life? Another thing is that a couple of times she kind of took the wrong decision only to magically escape later. And now the misogynistic me will say that she took that stupid decision because she's a woman, but she is a smart young girl after all. But why did she took that stupid decision? The misogynistic pet would like to say that Lara, like every woman, gasps when she sees gold. It's fun to die in Tomb Raider. Why? The checkpoints are really close, so you don't actually have to run and do some stuff again. And as I've said, Lara, like a Chuck Norris, it's fun to see her finally die, and that's pretty nice. I'm giving this game an 8.5. It's a good game, but at first I said 9, and then I kind of started to see how she really is not dying, falling down again, and also with that stupid decision that she takes, and also the fact that the story and the character progression is not really there. I said, okay, 8.5. The game also has a multiplayer, and I skipped it. I recommend you to maybe skip it, and if you are bored and you don't have what to play, you can try the multiplayer, but I don't see exactly why do we need a multiplayer in every game now. Like Far Cry 3 has a multiplayer, Mass Effect 3 has a multiplayer. Why? So guys, what are your opinions about the game? I also want to know your opinions about my review. As I've said, I'm trying to make the review where I'm talking freely, but since I'm not a native English speaker, I'm having problems with that. So please tell me. I'm really looking forward on how to improve my English. But more important, I'm really curious about what you guys think about the game. So go to GamerPET.com and go to the forum and write your opinions there. And if you don't want to do that, just write them in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching this. Tune in for my next reviews. Bye.